Pascal, good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Alon. I'm very fine. How are you?
Very good. Good to see you, mon ami.
The
Thank you
same
so
here.
much.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us.
My pleasure.
Um, I want to introduce Pascal Ravessoud, officially a very long title at the Fondation de la Haute Horlogerie. Um, you are head of watchmaking expert, and external affairs, if I say it correctly. But
Yes.
please introduce yourself, Pascal.
Oh, I'm an old timer in watchmaking, and with the foundation for more than 10 years, trying to spread the word and increase the appreciation of watches for everyone, basically. So very much enjoying it.
Amazing. And the key reason we invited Pascal to join us on the Ace List live sessions is because he's a total watch freak like us. And the purpose today is to talk about watches, the state of affairs in the watch industry today. I will repeat a lot of things, also reading out the questions out loud, because we also broadcast these live sessions afterwards as podcasts, so people don't see the questions that are in the screen. For those that don't know me, my name is Alon Joseph, one of the owners of the family-owned and run business Ace Jewelers in Amsterdam. The Ace List live sessions are meant to be 45 minutes, split in 3 segments, 15 for an intro with our dear guests, and 7 the Ace List questions that we ask, the same ones for each guest. Then we freestyle, and the last 50 minutes we try to interact with our viewers, our dear viewers that are here with us right now. But first and foremost, before we start, we need to do a wrist check. So Pascal, from your vast collection, what did you put on? 1 or 2? Because a lot of
No. Well, maybe if I grow older, maybe I get both my wrists used. But this time, I don't know if you see it. I can see it well.
Yeah.
It's an IWC. Yeah, it's a pilot watch from the 90s. So it's an old timer, young timer, let's say. 3706, very basic. That was basically the start of a very, very interesting line of the IWC pilot watches. And I always loved this tritium version. And I was lucky to find a set from the last production year of 2000. And I'm wearing quite often. It's quite on the smallish side for today. But still, I really appreciate it, either for the office or even during the weekends.
Yeah, awesome. We're filming this, by the way, in our boutique. So I just had a meeting with a dear customer this morning, and he was wearing the Rattrapant version, which is still on my wrist list. So my wish list for my wrist.
Okay.
And I also had the 3706, the 3717, but actually yours is the best because that's 39 millimeters, right?
It is, and actually, I think the best of the best is the 3705, the ceramic one, which gave birth also to the the Top Gun line. And this is kind of a grail for me.
Yeah,
very difficult.
I must say, Pascal, I'm a bit disappointed in you because I wore today my Speedy. You are a huge Speedy fan as well, and Speedy Tuesday, but I'll forgive you. So
I'm unfaithful. So sorry for the Speedy.
I wore my Tintin Racing.
Nice, very nice.
Do you have that one?
Yep, I do. Great one.
That's why you're my buddy. Okay, cool, awesome. Should we slide into the questions?
Let's slide.
All right.
Definitely.
First question. What watch or jewel is your favorite and why?
Well, this was a question on which I reflected many nights before, or many years, I shall say. Well, the best one is the next one. I can't have any better answer than that. And I tried to convince myself that, that one is the best. And that one is the best. And then it keeps sliding all the time. So definitely, I think the next one is the best.
So that's a politically correct answer.
It's actually the reality. Sorry.
We're infected with a disease and there's no cure, right? So
totally. And the more you go, and the more it's getting serious,
yeah.
Well, you know it.
So maybe let me rephrase. Two questions. Do you just buy young timers and vintage, or do you also buy new? So that's one question.
Yeah.
And maybe you want to share your latest addition to your collection, maybe.
Yes.
It's not bad BBC.
No, actually, I collect both. I find both attractive for different reasons. It's true that probably my collection is more into vintage young timers, but my latest edition in vintage or young timers is a Rolex Explorer 2 Cream.
Nice.
16550, the transitional, and my latest new edition is a Bulgari Octo Finissimo blue dial in steel that is from this year. It's really a cool watch.
Congratulations, because that is just fresh on the market.
Totally.
Although they launched it at the beginning of the year, it's only fresh on the market because we have a waiting list for that model. I do know that you already have an Octo Finissimo, which is the chrono. So how is the wear between the steel and the titanium? Because I have the titanium regular.
Okay.
Chrono.
There are really two different watches, and this is what I like about this line, which is truly, I think, becoming an iconic watch. As a modern watch, it's quite interesting to see the diversity of variations you can have on the same basic design. Well, not basic design, very inspired design by Genta as well. And I think really they nailed it on this piece. The Chrono GMT is another watch altogether. It's more of a stealth F117, steel jet kind of feel, very masculine, and the steel one with blue dial is really the summer watch that is really cool and sleek and actually water resistant, so you can dive with it. It's quite it's quite diverse, and I like this versatility.
I would like actually to do a deep dive with you on Bulgari, because last week we had the Geneva Watch Days, which was a new concept, and I think that two brands really stood out for me personally, which are Bulgari and Ulysse Nardin. Those really innovated and made different things. So I want to dive into, and I want to announce that you should tune in for all the Bulgari fans next week, because we're having a panel discussion with both Antoine Pin, who's head of watchmaking Bulgari, together with Fabrizio, who does the designs, and I think he's epic. And I saw they relaunched the Gel Genta by Retro, so I'm going to ask him how it is to step into Gel Genta's footsteps, literally. So that will be an interesting session, but we can maybe do the intro and share our thoughts about it. Second question, please. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I wanted to be a pilot, but my sight was not 100%, so I could not make the military training, like many, unfortunately. So I did a lot of military, and I still do.
Which country?
In Switzerland, of course. Some would say the Swiss Army knife are the best, and the Swiss knife army is probably the more peaceful army, but still I was quite serious, and it was my contribution to my country, since I do know politics. So I did some military, and I still do, and I'm a lieutenant. Well, I'm a lieutenant colonel. I'm very happy to contribute like that to my country, and fortunately not a pilot.
Is it still true that reservists? Are you still a reservist, or at a certain age anymore?
it's a bit complicated. Basically, if you're a soldier, you do your recruit school at 20 years old, and then you do repetition courses every year, 2 or 3 weeks until you reach 32. But then you, when you take a grade and go into the officer ranks, then your age is pushed back until you're 50, basically.
Yeah. So
for the superior officer.
Have your rifle at home?
Yeah. Well, now I have just a gun, a handgun.
Yeah. So it's a funny story. As a kid, I went on a factory visit to Saint-Imier, Longines.
Yeah.
Epic trip. We had dinner in the manufacture. And then Walter van Kenne obviously was CEO back then. He's been there forever. He just semi-retired, right? He's now president, but there's an amazing new CEO there. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so he's a jolly guy, amazing guy. Yeah. Besides being a good CEO, he's an amazing guy. And
he's a colonel.
He loves Longines. Yeah. He loves women and his rifle. So I was a young guy. We came there. He always wants a woman on the right and a woman on the left for dinner. Always. I had the honor to be the third sidekick to sit all evening next to him.
Okay, nice.
The story came out, so he told me about his army time and about his rifle. And when it's becoming too jolly at night, his wife hides the rifle.
He's a character. I have a much respect for Walter van Kenne.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Great guy.
All right, thank you for sharing. So let's go into the third question. Who's your role model?
Well, actually, I have no role model. Okay. I tend to do my best in every situation and trying to always improve in everything I do. But I can't find really someone who I can say was my model in my youth or even now. I love inspirational people like Simon Sinek, who really are thought leaders and things like that. But it's more, I can't say it's really a role model that I have.
Maybe spin the question. Who do you think are inspirational leaders in the watch industry today to stick to watchmaking? Forget role model. Who are visionary? Who are inspiring?
This is a very politically incorrect question,
Listen, we're talking watches as fans, right?
Yeah.
I'm interviewing as a person. No, but I
think there are many people in the industry that are very there are quality people. We are in an industry that is not talking a lot, or taking positions. And I think Jean-Claude Biver is a very inspirational person, and I think our industry need people like that to appear united as one as we go along with our business. So yeah, some others are too, but I think it's difficult to really choose one.
No, but I think that it wasn't a politically incorrect question, because actually he is an ambassador for what FHH does. I love the fact that he always thinks of the next generation. I think he sees himself as a mentor. Mm-hmm. All the companies that he has proteges running it till today, even if he's not at the helm of the company. He really wants the next generation to settle in and grow into their roles. I see it also with his kids. And after he retired or semi-retired, I don't know what his official title is now, but he really travels the world to promote Swiss watchmaking, right?
Yes, and it's important, and also passing on to the next generation is very important. And it's really something that we try to embrace at Fondation de la Haute Horlogerie. Is really first educating, because it's all about education. We try to educate. It's a bit of a bold word, but basically we try to put together information that is not biased, that is more neutral, so that people who don't necessarily are geeks yet need to find a credible basis to build up their knowledge, and we are providing just that. And I think over the years, it's been more than 15 years that the foundation was created, and we really put an emphasis on knowledge and education as being the basic, like everything in life. It's so important, and I think also we need to take into account that the clients are somehow aging, and we need to pass on to the next generation. So this appreciation of mechanical things, work of art, needs to be talked about and taught to the next generation, so that we can continue to count on that. It's even more important, I would say, now than it was before, because now basically the mechanical watch is totally useless, and the new generation is born digital. So for them, it's totally anachronic to have these little pieces, but still we can see a very huge interest from the youngsters that comes to something that is for them totally disconnected. And there is a form of of fascination, I would say, for the mechanical thing, because it's unlike everything they know. So I think that there's a huge task ahead of us.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So this concept of the Ace List Live was born out of the idea that we wanted to replicate what we do in store, but because there's less traffic in the last 6 months, let's say, we said, okay, what is it that we stand for as retailers? So we're there to share our passion, our knowledge, and add value with service and quality. So that's the aim of the Ace List Live. Literally share that. It's not a commercial project. That's why I'm very happy that you were very quick to reply when I send out requests for people to be our guests. You jumped on the bandwagon.
No, because I know, Alon, that we are sharing the same objective. So this is why.
And I think you guys are very modest and have a lot of integrity. Maybe I wanted to save it for later, but maybe let's just blend it all in. So for those that don't know the Fondation, which is the foundation to promote fine watchmaking, and not only in Switzerland, right? It's basically global.
Global.
Yeah. So you guys are non-profit, right?
We are a non-profit organization. Yeah.
Sole aim to promote this fine art, basically.
Yes, right? And with the support of we were founded by the Richemont Group, Gérard Perregaux and Audemars Piguet, with the aim to.
They're unaffiliated.
Excuse me.
They're unaffiliated, so these guys are not one group.
And their idea was actually, as I said, to increase the appreciation of watches and watchmaking and fine watchmaking to the widest possible audience. And so the idea was to be, founded as a non-profit and be open to everyone. So today we have more than 40 brands, participating and being, partners, financial, also contributors to all our promotion activities that we have. And these promotion activities are more and more digital, of course, especially this year, I would say. But we've made also exhibitions in various markets, in at the Kremlin Museum in Russia, in Tokyo, in China, in Hong Kong, in Mexico, in many other parts of the world, to try, to increase the knowledge and the appreciation. It's a very wide role for us, small organization, to try to do that globally to the widest possible audience. But it's a long-term goal, of course.
How big is your team?
We are about 30 people. But in this, we didn't mention, but we also, on one side, organize a small watch salon in Geneva called SCHH, Before and Now Watches and Wonders, and so it takes a lot of resources, and maybe half of these people are allocated to the salon, the other half on the promotion of fine watchmaking in general. We have an academy where we do training mainly for professionals, salespeople mainly, but we also make watchmaking workshops, initiation to watchmaking workshops for the publics, and also during our events, the Watches and Wonders events that we organize in various locations. We also provide some content, cultural activities, promotional activities, and our team is taking care of that. We do talks and conferences. We do these workshops and other things, virtual reality experiences, quizzes, and whatnot in all our events. And so it's.
I want to make a banner quickly to send all the viewers to read more about you guys. Should I send them to the website or Instagram account or?
So the website of the foundation is horlogery.org, and then the website for Watches and Wonders is watchesandwonders.com.
Is this correct?
It is, yes.
Yeah. So there you can find a lot of stuff, and I think you're very humble, but I know you have been part of the driving force by quickly digitizing the European version of Watches and Wonder earlier this year.
Yes.
And you guys did a tremendous job, in my humble opinion.
Thank you.
Literally created a beautiful overview of what's new. And what I love the most when I follow you guys on the socials, Instagram and Facebook, is you guys make a themed overview of different brands compiled by function or metal. So let's say a perpetual calendar or a minute repeater or tourbillon or red gold or diamonds or ladies' watches. So that's something that I really enjoy. So
thanks.
Compliments.
Thank you.
Shall we do question 4? We'll come back maybe a bit later to what the Fondation does as well.
Of course.
I think we were at 4.
Yes.
For tomorrow, where would you go?
Depends for what, but right now I would love to be on a Thailand island, like Koh Phi Phi or Koh Samui, to get a bit of rest and peace after 8 months, very challenging in our industry. So it's such a roller coaster that teleporting there would be something fancy. I fancy a lot.
And have you been there already, or is it the first time?
Yes. I've been many times in Thailand.
You know what you're dreaming about.
Yes, because it's at the same time. The scenery is incredible. The people are very nice. The food is incredible. Of course, the climate is top, and I don't know. There is a sense of peace there that I really appreciate.
And they appreciate watchmaking as well, the Thai people.
Yeah.
Next question. What book are you currently reading?
I am reading a book by Joel Dicker called The Last Days of Our Fathers. It's about it's during the occupied France during the Second World War. It's about a young French guys who actually enroll into the British Secret Service to serve their country and try to free their country through the help of London. It's quite diverting. Yeah, it's
interesting.
Quite nice.
So would you recommend
it? So far,
it?
So good. Yeah, so far, so good.
Okay, good. Thanks for sharing.
Sure.
6th question. What do you think is going to be the color of 2021?
It's an easy one after this morning. I would say green. Yeah, it was too easy, but otherwise I should have said blue, because I think blue is really still very much in fashion, and I see this as a longer term trend. But I think green is probably more in the news.
Yeah.
To be honest, I kind of like the idea of the Kermit 2.0. And
should we do this now maybe quickly?
Yes.
So big anticipation on the 1st of September, a few days after Geneva Watch Days. Rolex launched models, although they said they wouldn't launch anything this year. There were a lot of speculations going around. Black dial, blue bezel, Kermit's yes, no. So it's not a Hulk. Hulk is green.
Yep.
So what did you think of today's launches?
I think the evolution of the Submariner was very much anticipated. I really was not a fan of the, big fat lugs older case, and I think it's very difficult to update and upgrade something that's by definition is already perfect. So I think they really nailed it. So I think this evolution is by any means no revolution, but we know that from Rolex, and this is part of their what they do best is doing what they know, and I think this upgrade is quite nice. On the 36 Oyster Perpetual, the fresh colors, I was a bit surprised, to be honest. I would have said it's much more a Tudor thing than a Rolex thing. But why not? I think it's fresh, and fresh is good. Mm-hmm. So no, basically wasn't overly surprised except these colors.
Yeah, no, I was, and the case size I thought was also.
I've seen a video, I think from Waco, from Revolution, that was really comparing both, and it's pretty evident, and it's pretty well done, because then you can really see the difference, hand in hand, and no, I think it's pretty much well made. I really I'm quite positive.
Yeah, it's making something greater.
Yeah. That's not sure if this is going to to help the delivery deadlines, but
we're not Rolex dealers. We're Tudor dealers. But obviously, I love Rolex. I don't have a sub in my private collection. I have the GMT in Daytona. My brother and father do have subs. Huge discussion. Cyclops or no Cyclops. I'm less of a date guy, but I do love the Cyclops because it's so similar to Rolex. I love the black dial blue bezel with white gold.
It's white gold, yeah. But it's very logical. And historically, it's always like that.
Yeah, it's logical, but I think two watches should be steel. So I think I would just stick to the black, no date.
Really?
And less is more. Me personally, just talking out loud as watch freaks, right? And the colors, I think logical step, because my friends that do retail Rolex, and obviously we talk watches a lot. I think that one of the best dials has been the grape dial. The last few years, the regular Oyster.
Totally.
So nice, good to see, and I'm happy they launched novelties, and now we're slowly gearing to normality. So all right.
It's actually just it's just a bit sad that it's actually stealing the show. I mean, a minor difference is actually making the whole news and headlines for days. But this is how it is, right?
Yeah, we can talk about this maybe later. Maybe this is an interesting question for our guests and viewers, maybe to share their opinion. Let's see, because we already have some questions coming in, but time-wise, we're now almost at 30 minutes. I have one more question on the Ace List questions.
Yes.
Maybe let's do that. Close this chapter. Have you been to Amsterdam before, Pascal? And what's your favorite memory?
Yes, I've been a few times actually for work in my previous job. So it's been ages, and I really love the canals. It's really something unique, and I love this atmosphere, wandering around and seeing all these very nice houses with the great architecture. I really love that. Along the canals. For me, it's pretty special. I really love it.
I see you love water because you're sitting by the river now.
Yes, definitely. We can't see it, but it's definitely there. No, the only thing in Amsterdam is bikes. I was almost murdered a few times because they just don't stop. I mean, come on, guys.
They think they're the king of the road.
Crazy,
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I survived. So I'm going to be back there, hopefully soon.
Amazing. Thank you. So those were the questions. Should we dive a bit into our viewers' questions, or do you?
Yeah, sure.
Or you know what? Let's do 5 more minutes of novelties, Geneva Watch Days. What do you think?
Well, actually, I haven't seen them all, in person. I kind of agree with you. Ulysse Nardin was pretty strong. Bulgari was quite interesting. I have also very much liked the solo tempo from H. Moser. I think their case with their bracelet is really refined, and coming from this brand, it's kind of not a shock, but it's very different to all their lines, and I think this is quite fresh.
Streamliner, no, I believe was the name.
Yes, exactly. I was looking for it. Yeah, Streamliner.
I love that one. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. It's really. I had the chrono on my wrist, and to be honest, the bracelet is really well executed. It's very comfy. It's very qualitative, and in the flow of all the sports watches in steel we've seen over the last few years, I think it's one good example, definitely.
Can I ask? I want to ask you something. So that blew me away because it was launched earlier this year, and they did a new dial, I believe, green again.
True. Yeah. See,
I was blown away by the Chapek. I believe it's called the Antarctique.
Yes, I think so.
If we're talking integrated bracelet watches, right? I was blown away by the micro rote in the caliber, but also the design of the watch, the bracelet, and the design break from what they've done before. I really salute Xavier and his team. I think it's amazing what these guys do.
Yes, I think it's pretty fresh to the market as well. Yeah.
Yeah. If we see the big trend going on in integrated bracelet watches, it's actually super cool. I love that, and I love what Moser did. These guys together with MB&F.
Yes, this is great.
That dual collab back and forth. I thought.
Yes. This is quite oldish, but it is actually new. No, definitely great collaboration. I really love this collaboration with two brands I really like, and it was cool.
And what did you think about the Ulysse Nardin Blast?
Well, with Ulysse Nardin, it's always the same. They are very segmenting designs, right? So I think I really like the idea. Probably not a watch for me, but I really like the idea. I think they really are creative, and they always push the boundaries. So I think, very much Ulysse Nardin, basically. So they keep doing a good work.
Patek translates the DNA, the soul of Rolf Schneider very well.
Yeah,
I love the fact that those I didn't see it in my hands yet. I'm gonna see it soon.
Me neither.
That the lugs with that stealth movement inside was amazing. I believe it took them 1.5 years to develop a fully new caliber and micro rotor, which is a first for Ulysse Nardin, and that X, which is now their new DNA. I thought it was amazing, and I found it super cool. Obviously, Bulgari with the return of the Gerald Genta. So, but we just mentioned that earlier. And the aluminium, it's interesting. It's a bit retro for Bulgari.
Yeah, but I think it's quite a nice idea. I mean, the price point is quite interesting. We've seen the evolution of Swiss watchmaking industry in terms of numbers, and we know we are losing volumes against the connected watches and wearables and whatever was not. And it's quite interesting to come at these points because it's important to be strong in this segment for the Swiss watchmaking industry, in my view.
I agree. Shall we talk a bit about smart watches / connected watches? Do you want to talk about that? How do you guys perceive it, or you personally?
Yeah, no, I think we there've been a few initiatives, but I think basically Swiss watchmaking industry lost the war of wearables, and there are a few reasons for that. That is not my purpose to say we should have done that or not done that. I think it's a reality. It's a segment on their own, and I think it's owned by people who don't make watches. They are making objects with functions that are not emotional and that are actually providing features, functions, functionalities. And Swiss watchmaking and mechanical watches and fine watchmaking is totally about uniqueness, rarity, emotions, a work of art. So, I think I acknowledge their presence, and they probably are here to stay for a while. But I don't see this as a real threat for the overall industry. Of course, the entry level has been hit, and this is going to be tough to recover. But I think for the higher end, starting 1,000 and above, it's not too much of a big deal, because if we know how to sell our products and we can romance these products for the new generation, then someone is going to make his choice or her choice between a 500 wearable that will be obsolete in 1 year or two, and a mechanical watch at maybe the double that is going to stay for not forever, but for decades, and work without any charger and provide some emotions, because it's been done by human people, and it's going to have a heart that beats. So for me, there are two different stories.
Yeah. So me, myself personally, I'm actually happy with smartwatches in the sense as a jeweler, in the sense that it educates those that don't wear watches or younger generations when they buy their first watch to wear actually something on their wrist. So it educates them that time is on your wrist and not on your phone.
I understand.
I'm happy about that. Yeah. And we really see that happening. In the US, it's known that the percentage of people wearing a timepiece on their wrist is smaller than in Europe, let's say, in Asia. So we really see that with our American customers. That being said, I am a bit worried, though. I write columns, and one of my columns was titled "Time is not round anymore," meaning kids slowly do not learn to read time analog anymore. It's digital, so horizontal. That's why. And I was shocked by an article that I read that in the UK, an X percentage, I don't remember by heart, they couldn't read time anymore of an analog clock. That because of that, in rooms where children have exams, they take the clocks off the wall, because kids sitting there can't use their phone, obviously, so they don't have the time near them. They can't read the clock, so they got stressed out because they see the time passing. Yeah. And then they don't know what time it is. Yeah, no problem. Just stay with us. So these are things that. So I'm not worried about smartwatches. I think it's a good thing. I am worried that we need to educate. So that's why I'm super happy with Fondation and any other project to share the knowledge of fine watchmaking. Before we dive into questions from our guests, I have one question for you, actually.
Yes.
How do you guys define Hotology? What's the border? What's Hotologery and what's not Hotology? Regular horlogery. You just mentioned 1,000. How would you guys go about classifying that?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question, to which there is no definite and short answer. Basically, I'm running what we call a cultural council of 50 experts worldwide to try to answer this question. So far we have tackled and try to approach it through many different factors. It's a very complex thing because Haute Horlogerie doesn't start here and stop there. So there are a lot of intricacies into the mechanisms, and basically you can really narrow it down by being very general and say Haute Horlogerie is excellence in watchmaking. It's applied arts and watchmaking techniques in symbiosis, and that makes the magic of the great Haute Horlogerie project. But of course, it's not as simple as that. We even wrote a white paper on Haute Horlogerie, try to explain the 45 criteria, the 45 criteria that.
Is that available for the public? Sorry to interrupt you, Pascal.
It's on our website. Yeah, it's on our website on PDF called the white paper. Please.
And then find the white paper, because that's actually an amazing document. It's empirical. It's almost an academic study. And as a watch freak, it's a joy to read. So I think that you can find your answer there, basically, in many pages.
Yes, and it's been a few years work. Which we had a very pragmatic approach on it. But then to say, okay, this is Hotology and this is not, then it's a bit more, unequivocal.
Yeah.
So I think also, FHH Fondation Hotology was created 15 years ago at a time where, it's like haute gastronomy, haute everything. Everyone was using the word without really knowing what was lying, behind it. So the idea was trying to give some answers. But I think today it is not a question of being Hotology or not. I think we are in an era where brands have a lot of presence, and they are recognized as the, how to say, as the forefront of a culture or of certain values. So I think this term of Hotology is not that ever important, at least much less important than it was before. So I think it's more of a rhetorical question to define really what is or what is not. I think what is important is the excellence, the road to excellence, and this is a general way. And excellence you can find in many different ways. You can be excellent in quality price ratio. You can be excellent in providing I don't know, a movement that is second to none. You can be excellent at executing the highest complications by hand. So this is what we're trying to achieve, is to show in how many directions you can find excellence in watchmaking. And I just have to add one other thing, is that I think the watch is a very distinctive product compared to other luxury segments. It's a complicated watch is more than 20, 30, or even 40 different crafts that you need to master in order to make a very high-end watch, complicated, very well decorated by hand. And I don't know many other objects that require this addition of skills. And this is what makes it really interesting, I guess.
Well put. May I add maybe two questions, or they're actually correlated and they're rhetorical, but for our viewers that want to get educated and maybe they're young or they get first in contact with watchmaking. Mm-hmm. Rhetorical question one: can a quartz watch be Hotologerie?
Well, I don't think so.
So let's take Grand Cycle. Let's say Grand Cycle, for example. They have excellence in their execution, their finishing, their polishing, dial making, whatever they do. Yes. Could a Grand Cycle quartz be Hotology? Because I think we can say that their mechanical ones are, right?
Yes, they are. I think it's really a question of wording, because I think when you go towards excellence in everything you do, then at the end of it, you have an excellent watch. You have a really, let's say, a high-end watch. I can also think about the François Paul Journe ladies' watch with the quartz and the very well decorated movement. So maybe we can say it's Hotology, but if you ask 8 people in the street, you will find 8 different answers. And so usually when you say Hotology, you're thinking about mechanical. This is why I say I doubt. So Hotology for many people around is the excellence in mechanical watches. And, but you're right, it's a rhetorical question.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's see what our viewers are saying. So I'm just clicking. Our colleague Dallas says hi. Hi, buddy. Thank you so much for joining in as well. Next one. That's Watch for Rocky. You haven't seen the episode. He and his crew have the Watch 4 crew, big group of aficionados and lovers of watches in Amsterdam. He's asking, any new brands expected to join FHH? The portfolio is already amazing.
Yes, we have a few brands lining up. Sorry, we will soon have 2 new partners. There are 2 small brands, very different brands. Can't really speak about that now because it's going to be announced in a few weeks. But yeah, we hopefully will have everyone aboard one day. But yeah. I mean, it's a usual process to keep adding new brands. Definitely.
Thank you. Hope that answers the question, Rocky. If not, please shoot us another one. Next one is Rocky again. What's the one Amsterdam plan? Good question, Rocky.
It's not planned yet.
Maybe something we should work on.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Who knows?
Okay, cool. Let's see. We had some questions from people who couldn't join live. Let me see this one. Jerome asked us, do you consider Rolex to be Haute Horlogerie?
It's in our Haute Horlogerie perimeter, yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Although they don't have many watches with complications, and a complication per definition doesn't mean Haute Horlogerie or not, right? You just said it beautifully. It's the execution and perfection you're seeking.
Yes, but also if you take into consideration the commitment of Rolex to quality, to utmost quality in everything they do. The fact that 100% of the mechanical movements are in-house, the fact that they are almost fully integrated, it's probably the largest integrated manufacturer. Yes, I mean, and they do complications. Take the Sky Dweller, take the Yachtmaster 2, and a chronograph is already the moon phase. You have a lot of complications. Of course, it's not at the level of Patek Philippe, but they do other things in towards excellence as well.
Interesting. Thank you for answering. Rocky said, "Cool. Okay, well, we're happy with the question. We know they will get the first tickets." Pascal, I see we've passed the 45 minutes mark. How are you time? Do you want to cut it short, or should we answer a few more?
I'm happy. I don't want to take all of your time. Yeah, I have 5 more minutes here.
Okay. Let's see. Next one. This is Jaap. What did you do before you joined FHH?
Oh, I had many lives, like cats. But I started, just before the FHH, I was working for Harry Winston for the watch division in Geneva. And my boss was Max Busser. So it was a great time at Harry Winston at that time. It was the Opus era. And it was very, very interesting. And before that, I was in agencies, communication agencies, working for a few brands. I've done things for Patek Philippe, for Raymond Vel, and for SIHH. And this is where I got my acquaintance with the salon.
Amazing. Cool. Let me see. We have here a new one coming in. David is asking, what's your favorite watch blog? Good question. On YouTube, he asked this, by the way.
Well, to be honest, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to go to blogs, I'm afraid. So yeah, sorry for this one, Joker.
It's your own. It's your own. You guys write amazing articles, right?
Who?
On hotologery.org.
Yes, but it's not a blog.
I actually read your articles.
Okay, that's good. Thank you very much. They are very qualitative. But it's really not a blog.
So, David, I answered this one for Pascal. Let me see. Another question from Jaap. What's your favorite watch in your collection? Well, that's basically one of the 8 questions.
Yeah, they are all my babies.
For him, which one gets a lot of wrist time?
I change every day.
You literally change every day?
Yeah, sometimes twice a day. It makes my wife crazy. But I think all collectors are the same. And it's, as you say, it's a disease. But it's all are my babies, and I cannot love one baby more than another, I guess.
Interesting. I actually noticed that I wear in cycles. So I have a few at home, a few at work, and a few stored at different locations, which is annoying. So sometimes a watch pops into my head and I feel like that one, and then it's a hassle to get it. But it depends on the mood, outfit, and occasion you go to, right?
Yes,
some occasions I don't want to wear gold. Sometimes in a leather strap. Sometimes I need a steel bracelet, temperature, swimming. So yeah.
Totally. And actually, I only have watches that I wear. If I start not wearing a watch, then I sell it. I sell it because I want to, to experience. I really have an emotional bond with my watches usually. I mean, it either makes me, a big smile on my face when I put it on after a few days, or then, well, it starts to be at the end of the drawer, and then at some point I'm selling it to make space, because I can't have like so many watches.
I have the same rule. Everything gets worn, and my parameter for stay or not stay is if I put it on my wrist, and I'm in love again. It makes me happy. Like you said, the smile. And if it falls out of that category, I go into limbo. So that's doubt. And usually the answer is, when in doubt, the answer is no. But then I create a freeze period.
Okay.
Think about it. Your taste evolves. Should I keep it for my kids? No, la la la. And then if not, I trade it in as well. So
okay.
I think we're the same in that sense.
Yes, and sometimes I have experienced seller's remorse, and so you said, "Oh no, I shouldn't have let it go. Not this one." And then you try to find a new one, which is even more difficult when you sell a vintage one, because you have to find the right one in the right condition at the right price, in the nice patina you like, and then of course the hunt is also part of the process basically, but it takes some time. So.
Yeah, I've regretted few sales now in my years, and therefore I created that freeze period.
Yeah.
Just to really think it over, and if it's not an issue of money, right? And when I have customers come in and they say, "Should I trade it in?" I said, "Listen, I can't decide for you. If this watch blocks your budget, think about it. If it doesn't block your budget, create a freeze period."
Yeah, but just one little anecdote. One day I had a Tudor chronograph Monte Carlo, which I liked a lot.
Vintage.
It's good. Yeah, vintage 1972. Really loved it, and then taste evolving, etc., etc. I don't wear it anymore, and I want that watch, and then I decided to sell it. And I so much regretted that I looked for one comparable for a month, and finally the same exact watch I sold went back on the market, and I bought it back. It cost me
inflation or not? Added inflation?
Sorry?
Inflation of price?
Of course. What do you want to do?
It's almost like a pawn shop, huh? You pawned your watch and you bought it back.
Yeah, it was not the right thing to do. I mean, money-wise. But now I don't let it go anymore.
Good for you.
Good
for you. So it was meant to be. He was meant to be yours. You paid tuition, college tuition.
Yes. God.
Dala has an interesting question. On YouTube, he asked, which opus is your favorite, Pascal? Good question, Dala.
Number 3, of course. It's the most mythical one. I can't say it's going to be my watch because it's so crazy, but it's actually so crazy that it took almost 10 years development and redevelopment and regenerate.
Remember, it's the Halter, Vianney?
Vianney Halter, yeah. And, it was these 6 digital portholes, and Beautiful. It required so much energy from the movement that they had to redesign the movement 3 times. I guess 2 or 3 times, and the clients, they waited, and I think they waited for like a decade or so, and finally they could deliver the watch. So I think it's really one of the mythic modern watch of the 2000s. Yeah, definitely.
By the way, talking about Vianney Halter, I love him because my dad fell in love with the Antique. The first.
Okay.
Steampunk version.
Yeah, I don't remember the name.
I think it's called Antiqua. I think it's the French version. So ever since he's on my radar, and I love steampunk, although it's not really my style, I can so much appreciate the design. I love Uurwerk, I love MB&F.
Yeah.
And actually, I think Eurostar, Serge Meillard published an awesome background story about him, why he was off the scene so long.
Mm-hmm.
He's like really a genius who basically had a writer's block, and his insecurities interfered with his creativity, and but he came back with a vengeance, the new Tourbillon.
Yeah,
amazing.
It's really amazing. It's really amazing. And yeah, Vianney is so extreme in his approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the cool guys around. I mean, this really brings so much creativity into the business. It's really nice.
Which is a point of criticism on my side, that we do lack sometimes, or in particular segments of the industry, creativity. We have this huge retro wave that keeps coming, like a mega wave. And that's why I can appreciate all these, what Ulysse Nardin does. There is basically nothing retro anymore in the collection. They made the Paul Nardin, the David Ulysse or something retros, and the divers, and those are all gone. Obviously, the front runners are Uhrwerk and MBNF, and on technology wise, I think that hardly spoken about is Singer.
Yeah,
also interesting what these guys are doing.
Yeah.
Design wise, it's not so crazy, but
no, the approach
redesigned the whole chrono.
Yeah, well, actually, they use the Agengraph from Agenor, who is this very very active movement. Well, not even movement designer, but he's developed complications for many brands in the industry. Agenor, and he's a very talented guy who actually reinvented the chrono, and I think Singer put it in a very nice design, and actually the same basis as the Streamliner of H. Moser. And I think this chrono is really revolutionary. It's difficult to understand how and why, because when you see it implemented, it's difficult to understand all the engineering behind. But I would recommend your audience here to go and see what's behind this chronograph and how it was engineered, because it's really a technical feat. It's kind of a revolution of the last few decades. A new way to think about the chronograph, which is, in my view, totally underrated. And developing a chronograph is a hell of a thing. Everyone takes that for granted because you have powerhouses like Valjoux 7750 and stuff. But this is really a complication that is difficult to grasp and to master. And I think these new chronographs, be it Fabergé as well, and Fabergé, Singer and H. Moser, it's quite interesting how they have put that in place into their own design. So yeah, it's really
for those that don't know, on average it takes 5 years to design a new caliber, and to rework this takes longer. Millions of euros in R&D and actually prototyping. That's what people forget, and that what also makes them very expensive, besides the fact that they're handmade and hand finished and everything. And something else on the addition of innovation and adding value is, people often think that we're watch snobs, but I know you aren't, and I know I'm not. So just focusing on the lower price segments, I think Meistersing is also super cool. Just one hand, design-wise is a bit classic, but I think they're super fun as well, especially if you're starting in watchmaking and you want something different. And I think I'm not objective, because you guys know I'm crazy about Nomos, and we did limited editions with them. But I find it amazing how they tweaked classic into each single product is modern, and it's new design coming up with new design. So and also from 1,000 price point. Do you guys consider Nomos Hotology?
Not yet.
Almost.
I think they are on the verge. They really do something interesting. You know what, Alon? I'm just looking at my watch.
You need to go?
Haute Horlogerie watch. I'm hosting a Zoom meeting in 1 minute, so I'm afraid I have to go. Yeah, sorry.
We had one more question, but this one, maybe we'll do in a future session.
Invite me again, and we do a session on latest watches.
So for all the
viewers, so sorry for that.
Yeah, no problem. For all the viewers, thank you for watching. If you would like another session with Pascal, please leave us a comment afterwards. We would love to hear back from you. We're learning. This is the second session. Thursday, we're doing one with Mike Usher of the Royal Usher Diamond Company. Pascal, thank you so much. And
thank you very much, Alon.
The next one with you.
Yes, thank you very much. See you.
Take care,
Bye,
ciao.
everyone. Thank you
Bye.
very much for the invitation. Bye.